Following a wave of protests from students and faculty, Tim Wolf, the president of the University of Missouri System, is resigning, and Bowen Lofton, the chancellor of the flagship campus, will leave at the end of the year. The resignations follow weeks of criticism over the university's handling of racial tension. Last week, a black graduate student went on a hunger strike until Wolf resigned. And over the weekend, dozens of black football players said they wouldn't play if Wolf didn't step down. Wolf urged the university to use his resignation to heal and start talking again.
I'm resigning as president of the University of Missouri System. My motivation in making this decision comes from love. I love MU, Columbia, where I grew up, in the state of Missouri. I take full responsibility for this frustration, and I take full responsibility for the inaction that has occurred. Use my resignation to heal and start talking again, to make the changes necessary, and let's focus on changing what we can change today and in the future.
Michael Coleman is the sports director for KCTV in Kansas City. Michael, how much was riding on this for the university if those football players had gone through on their threat and not played in the next game?
Well, from my understanding, there's a very strong possibility there would not have been a game. They're supposed to play BYU this coming Saturday at Arrowhead Stadium, the home of the Chiefs. And my understanding is if there was not going to be a game, Missouri would owe BYU at least $1 million. So that's a situation where money certainly does talk.
So it wasn't just that there was campus pressure on the university system president. It was also that there were big financial consequences for him remaining in that job.
Oh, certainly. And the thing about Missouri, they're no longer in the Big 12. Quick background here. They're now in the SEC. So they bolted this conference 3 years ago, but they're still trying to keep a footprint here in Kansas City, and they could not afford to lose that game here in KC, where they're trying to keep their footprint.
Look, a lot of people have questioned why it took the football players coming on board to sort of tip this whole thing into the realm of action. Why do you think that they decided to throw their support behind the grad student who was on the hunger strike?
Well, I think part of it is because student athletes are on scholarships. They're treated much differently than the general student body. I'm a former collegiate athlete, and a lot of times we were not aware of what was going on around us because we were so myopic, so focused on football that we don't know what's going on outside of our atmosphere, if you will. And I think the case with the Missouri athletes, they were friends with Jonathan Butler, who staged the hunger the hunger drive, if you will, hunger strike, and they decided we want to help you out. And they heard other stories that had gone on campus during homecoming. There was a racial issue. There was a deal where black students were rehearsing a play, and the N-word was being thrown at them repeatedly. And a lot of these issues that had occurred on campus, from my understanding, had been reported, but nothing had been done about it. Feces in the form of swastika on the dorm. And I think for the general student population, they were tired of it, but once the football players heard about it, they decided to be a part of social change, and that's pretty much why they got involved, and they had the endorsement of their coach, Gary Pinkel.
So now we have a change in administration, in the leadership. What happens in the student body? Because after all, it doesn't solve the problem of whether students are treating each other with tolerance and understanding.
Well, and that's a good question, and that's what these young students need to find out about themselves. Like, this set a precedent, and it doesn't mean that every time you complain about something, something's going to break and go your way. I think what they wanted to do was have a forum to be heard, and up until today, that was not the case, or at least not until the football players got involved. And I think there's some other demands. They want to have a say in diversity in terms of who they bring on to become the new president. They want some educational issues handled out as well. So there's still a ways to go, but the mere fact that they were listened to, I think for now, has appeased them.
And what does this say about the power of student activism?
Well, student activism with sports, it says a whole lot. And it doesn't just begin with this. I mean, we're in Kansas City, and Jackie Robinson's baseball roots are here. We know about Jackie Robinson and the Brooklyn Dodgers. We know about Muhammad Ali. We know about Tommy Smith and Juan Carlos of the 1968 Olympics, where they brought attention to what was going on in America. So sports, I've always felt, has always been the barrier, the bridge, if you will, to social changes because it is sports. Bear Bryant at Alabama was the first coach in the SEC to have a black athlete. Now, before he did it, no one else did. Once Bear did it, they figured if it's good enough for Bear Bryant to have blacks on his team, it's good enough for us. So sports has always been the issue to help widen attitudes and opinions, because everybody wants to be a winner and everybody wants to be positive.
Michael, great to talk with you. I appreciate your insight.
All right, thanks a lot, Contessa.